Alright, so in this video I'm going to be making a Whitebeard Pirates setup, and the goal of the setup is to have the other figures be in scale with this Grandista Whitebeard. So I'm going to be doing Ace, Marco, Jozu, and Vista. And yeah, it's true that sizes can be inconsistent in One Piece, like sometimes a character will be drawn bigger and other times will be drawn smaller. And for this setup I'm going to be going by their official height, so whether you believe the official heights are accurate or not, that's up to you, but for my setup this is what I'm going by. So I looked up the heights of these 5 characters and I put those heights into heightcomparison.com. Then after doing that, I took pictures of each of the characters and pasted them over the height comparison silhouette. So that's how I got this picture here that I'm going by for my setup. Right, so first up we have Jozu, and it's probably pretty obvious already which one fits the best with this Whitebeard, but I'm going to give a little overview of each of them. So this one here is clearly not the one. He's very small. This one is the supermodeling Soul Jozu. So here's what he looks like, and yeah, he's way too small for this setup, but just felt like a good opportunity to show him. Yep, there he is. Now let's get him out of the way and we'll talk about the other two. So this one here is the Master Lies X-Piece Jozu, and he's the biggest one I have. He's the biggest Jozu figure that's out there. And yeah, he's a pretty nice one. I like the shading going on throughout him. Has a pretty sexy face there. Very big, very massive beast here. And yeah, he just kind of sits on here. There's no like peg or anything. And yeah, he's also got some shading down here, so I think it's a pretty nice Jozu figure. He has a good weight to him, very massive, a very massive beast. But he's just too big for this Whitebeard, so the one I'm choosing for my setup is the Figure Art Zero Jozu. So here's a closer look at him. I think he's pretty good too. He has some shading there, also the diamond arm, and yeah, he's standing straight up. Well, not straight up. You can see his knees are bent a little bit there. But yeah, I feel this Jozu is the best fit for the setup I'm going for. I think he looks really nice together with the Grandista Whitebeard. And next up is Marco. So this one down here is the Supermodeling Soul Marco from the same set as that Jozu, and then this one is the Master Lies X-Piece Marco from the same set as the other Jozu, the one that's sitting down. And then I have one more Marco that I have not opened for a long time. He's just in a Ziploc bag. I bought him actually pre-owned and open, so I don't have the box for him, but since it's been so long since I've seen him, I figured I'd open him up on video to see what I think of him after having him in there for so long. So yeah, this is the Portrait of Pirates Marco, the first one they ever released. The first Marco they ever released. And I think he still holds up great. I think he looks pretty nice. He has some shading going throughout his jacket, and then also his pants have kind of a satin finish to them, which looks nice. And also these ones kind of have a similar finish. I think they look nice on the Master Lies X-Piece as well. But as for the jacket on this one, it's a little plain looking. There might be like a slight amount of shading, but I think it looks fine. And I always love when they make figures based on exact moments from the manga, which this one is, and so is the Jozu. So I do like this one. Now let's get this Portrait of Pirates Marco onto his base. And yeah, he's also got some interchangeable arms, which I have put away somewhere. So yep, here's his base, translucent base here. Let's get him on. How does he go? Like this. But yeah, I think this is actually my favorite Portrait of Pirates Marco. Like, there's the other one that has the leaning issue, and then there's the recent Maximum one. But yeah, I prefer the sculpt and paint job on this one to the 2 newer ones. I still think this is the best Portrait of Pirates Marco. Oh, and I just remembered they also made that Dr. Marco one. I think that one looks pretty good. I'd have to look at it again, but I do know this one is I still like this one better than that one as well. But the Marco figure I think would be my favorite out of all of them is one that I don't own yet. It's the Ichiban Kuji Soul Gorgeous Statue X Devils Marco, where he has his wings out, and that one just looks really nice, so I gotta get that one at some point. Alright, so let's get Whitebeard back out here so we can see how he looks with each of these Marcos. So, yes, these ones are obviously massive compared to Whitebeard. Here's what they look like next to him. Portrait of Pirates Marco and Master Lies X-Piece Marco. And I don't have a Grand Line Series Marco, so here's a Usopp for kind of an idea for how like a regular sized character would look next to Whitebeard from the Grand Line Series. And Marco is actually sort of tall. He's 6'8". I mean, that's not very tall at all when you consider the heights of a lot of the characters in One Piece, but he's above average height for like a regular human. So yeah, the Marco I'm choosing for my setup is the Supermodeling Soul Marco. So let's get this stuff out of the way. Let's see how he looks with Whitebeard. And yeah, I feel like a lot of people will see this and think, oh, he looks way too small. But like I said, I'm going off the official heights, and there's also those parts where huge characters like Whitebeard and Kuma, who are pretty close in size. I think Kuma is a few inches taller, a few feet taller, something like that. But They're pretty close in height, and both of them do hold Luffy, and his legs are hanging out and also his head, so they can pretty much fit his whole torso inside of their hand. And then at Marineford, when Whitebeard's fighting all the Marines, they are very tiny. I don't think this looks odd at all. I think that's pretty close to actual size. So I'm really happy with this Marco and the Whitebeard together. And here are my ace figures. I'm pretty sure this is all of them. I mean, I wouldn't even really count this one because I bought this one like in a cheap lot of figures, and he arrived broken. You can see the hat is broken off here. I mean, actually, he was broken. I knew he was broken when I bought him. It didn't happen in shipping. He was already broken. So here's this ace. His dagger looks really nicely done on this one. See how it's colored there? It has like a yellowish color mixed in with that green, and then all these little buttons or whatever are colored in too. Then it has the black stripes going up the handle. And if we look at the one on this one, there's a big difference here. Like this one's pretty flat, just flat green color. You can see the straps going around it here, the buttons. But yeah, this one is just like way nicer looking. And yeah, the handle is just kind of plain as well. And I'm also not too crazy on the facial expression for this ace. But I do like displaying him like this from the back. I think that's a pretty good way to display him. That's how I have him displayed in my setup, showing off his Whitebeard Pirates tattoo on his back. And then yes, if it wasn't obvious already, the Supermodeling Soul Ace is the one that I'm going to be putting in my setup. Yep, here's what he looks like. I don't think I really gave a close-up look at the Marco, or maybe I did, but yeah, here's the Supermodeling Soul Ace. So here's the setup so far. Now we just got to add a Vista figure. Right, so here are my two Vista figures. This one is also from the Supermodeling Soul line, just like the Jozu I showed earlier in the video, and like the Marco and Ace that I'm putting into this setup. So here's a closer look at this little Vista. And yeah, his mustache falls off like so easily. I gotta glue that in if I'm ever gonna display him. It falls out at just the lightest touch. And yeah, I don't think I fully pushed the cape in. Let me get that on. Alright, now it's on. So yep, little tiny Vista figure, but he is too small for this setup. I like the pose though. He's a fun little figure. And the Masterlized X-Piece one here is clearly too big to scale well with the Whitebeard. But he is a great figure on his own. Like he's pretty nicely done. He's got shading, some coloring in the pants, and then yeah, shading throughout the chest here, and then also on his gloves. Just a really nicely done figure. And I also did own the Portrait of Pirates one at one point. And he's pretty great too, but I think I ended up selling him because I just felt he was too big at the time, though I kind of wish I would have kept him. It would have been fun to bring him out right now. But yeah, that one takes up a lot of space because he like has his arms out, and then he's holding his swords, and it's just a very wide figure. I think we can also switch out his hands so he's not holding the swords, but even then he has his cape, and that's pretty wide too. So it is a big figure. I do like the smaller size of this one. He fits in better with some of my other figures like that Ichiban Kuji Whitebeard. But yeah, he's not going to fit in this setup. Neither of these fit in the setup. So this is the one where I did go and I went ahead and bought a figure just for the purpose of completing this setup. And this is the one I got, the Battle Record Collection Vista. And yeah, the Battle Record Collection Whitebeard Pirates set that they made recently is advertised as going with the Grandista Whitebeard, but the only one that really looks to be in scale at all is the Vista. The other ones just look way off to me, like the Jozu is way too small and Marco and Ace are too big. But yeah, Vista is the one from that set that I think is going to fit perfectly here. So let's get them opened up and then we'll put them into the setup. So here's the top of the box, the gold Toei sticker. This is the Japan release of the figure. Then here's one of the sides. I think this is the back. Another side. And the front of the box. And then here's the bottom. And I wonder if Vista is alive. I forget if they've really made that clear or not. Like I know the remnants of the Whitebeard Pirates fought the Blackbeard Pirates and lost, and then Marco clearly survived, but have they shown any of the other members? Yeah, I'm planning to do a full reread of One Piece soon, so a lot of things will become more clear to me then. But yeah, I can't remember what's been mentioned about him since then. And right now it's March 2026, because I never know when people are going to watch these videos, so it is possible that you're watching this video after One Piece has ended. And maybe Vista returned, or maybe it's confirmed that he is not alive. So here he is. And yeah, even though I bought this one, just for the setup, just for the size, I think I'm going to like the figure itself too. Right, here's what he looks like in the plastic packaging, and there's also something else in here. Here is his arm. and the other one on the other side. So they have them like this with the cardboard to keep the swords from bending. Alright, let's get these out. Oh, it's like that. Okay. Yeah, here they are. And let's see if I can just tear this open. Sometimes they tear open easily, and other times it's easier to just use the scissors. Let's get Vista's hands out. Oh, they're like, let's see, how are they secured on there? So I think they're taped. I think they're taped on there. Let's see. I think I'll cut that. We'll cut the tape here. And now it'll come out just like this. Looks pretty good. But yeah, there's a lot of characters I want to see return in One Piece. Like Aruj is one of the main ones. Like, he is one of the sexiest characters in the series. I love his design, and I just want to know more about him. I hope he returns and becomes like a big character. But at the very least, I want to see him again. And yeah, Vista too. I'd love to see Vista again. Also Jozu. Yeah, there's more packaging than I thought to this beast. I just put it all the way in the box. A lot of bubble wrap and plastic bags, which is a good thing. Alright, so first up is the base. And this looks like a Grand Line Series base. It's just a black oval. Then we can see the marking at the bottom there. Bandai Spirits, made in China. And what's the number here? Alright, so the number on this one is 2761036. And here is Vista's lower half. Oh god, look at that. Did that break off? It doesn't look like it's, Yeah, pieces like this should be packaged separately because they're so long, it's easy for them to break like that. But I'm thinking I should just be able to glue it back on. Let's see how it fits in there. If I could just stick it in like this. Yeah, I guess I'll glue that on later. I just wanna finish this up, so let's get the rest of him. His final piece. So here's the man himself, and yeah, his cape is kind of a little bit of a rubbery feel. I like it. Little bit of flexibility to it. Like the one on the Portrait of Pirates was super hard plastic. And yeah, he looks sexy as he should. We can see the hairy chest, though it isn't colored in like on the Master Size X Piece one. The hairs are colored in black, but at least they are like etched into the sculpt here. And now let's get the hands on. Here we've got 1. And 2. And then yeah, let's look at the front of the lower half. So it's pretty plain here, no color on the belt buckle, which would have been nice to at least have seen like the little gold color there. But yeah, it's just plain. And rest of it looks fine. I don't think it's a bad figure, though it does suck that mine came broken. And now to put them together. He doesn't want to go. Alright, now it's on. Got that connected, and then let's put this back on. And now we'll get them onto the base. I think it goes the other way. Alright, and here it is, the Battle Record Collection Vista. I don't think I looked too close at his face. Let's take this off. We can look at his face. I think it looks good. It looks like Vista. He's got that handsome smile going on there. And the big top hat. Alright, so here's what all of them look like together, and I'm pretty happy with it. Like, I think they look a lot better than if I would have just bought one full set, like say the Master Size X Piece set. Those ones don't scale too well together aside from like Marco and Ace. And same thing with the Battle Record Collection set. None of those are really in scale with each other aside from maybe Marco and Ace. So yeah, in terms of scaling, I do think this setup looks better than those two. And yeah, I think this Vista is the closest one to being in scale with the Grandista Whitebeard, but I do feel like he looks a bit big here. I'm not sure if he's big in comparison to Whitebeard, but definitely to Jozu, I feel like Vista should be smaller. And yeah, the height comparison chart I made shows that too, so I wouldn't say it's perfect, but it's a lot better than just buying all the figures from one set, because those are almost never going to be in scale with each other unless you're buying like the World Scale line, which they didn't make too many of those. And scaling isn't something I pay too much mind to when buying figures. Like, I pretty much just buy whichever ones I think look good, and then like look over here, you know, Shinobu and Tama, definitely not on scale with each other, but I have no problem displaying them next to each other. It's just fun to do it like this sometimes when possible, to mix and match figures from different lines and see how close I can get them to the official heights, or to whatever looks good to my eye. And I'm sure someone watching this thinks this looks terrible, so if you're watching it, you think this setup looks bad, then now you know which ones not to get for your Whitebeard setup. And before I end this video, we're going to do one more Whitebeard Pirates setup, because I think I can get Vista and Jozu to look a little bit more close to the height comparison chart I made. Right, here we go. So I switched out two figures here. I switched out the Figure Art Zero Jozu for the Masterlize X-Piece Jozu, and the Grandista Whitebeard for the Masterlize, not the Masterlize, for the Ichiban Kuji Marineford Hen Whitebeard. That's what this one here is. And I think this does match the height comparisons I did more closely than the other setup. So there is Ace by Whitebeard, and yeah, he looks to reach about the same spot as he does in the height comparison picture. And same with Marco, close enough, you know. Then we have Jozu here. I put the bigger Jozu here, and yeah, I think he fits much better with the Vista. And I think with the Whitebeard too, like yeah, these aren't all on an even surface. Like Jozu just has his feet on the floor, he's sitting down, and then Marco and Ace are on top of Whitebeard's base. So these three are on the same level. And then we have Vista down here, who is on a base, but his base is not as tall as Whitebeard's base. So yeah, I'm not going to stress myself out making them like some kind of platform to put them on an even surface. But yeah, doing this was really fun. I enjoyed doing it, and I love this setup. I think the other setup is great too, but I think I'm liking this one more. So we'll see which one of these setups I end up going for first. But right now I'm feeling this one. You know, maybe I'll display this one for a bit and then switch up to the other one. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Right, so I decided to take a lot of my Whitebeard stuff down from here, and then I put it into this shelf, and this is my new Whitebeard Pirates setup. Have the Moby Dick over here, and then Little Oars Jr. back there, Vista right there, Ace, Whitebeard, Marco, Jozu, Little WCF Moby Dick, and then Whitebeard's Grave, and Mega WCF Whitebeard. And yeah, I did have to take his weapon out of his hand because he wouldn't have fit in this shelf otherwise. So here it is, and maybe I'll do the other setup too. I'll do it right now just to get an idea of how it would look both ways. Okay, here's what it looks like now with the Grandista Special Edition Whitebeard and the Figure Art Zero Jozu. Those are the only two I switched out, and I'm really liking it like this also. I feel like it gives it more space. The other display maybe looks slightly cluttered, but I really do like them both. Actually, after looking at both of the setups a bit more, I definitely prefer this one. I feel like the other Whitebeard and Jozu are just too overwhelming for a shelf this size. Yeah, this setup just looks better to my eyes. Like, I can easily make out each of the figures and focus on each of them, and they also look good as a whole. Like, it just looks really good visually. So this is going to be my new Whitebeard Pirates setup.